trip to Lapland is multi-species, moose, ptarmigan and capercaillie. And that means multi-disciplined breeds of working dogs. We have already reaped the rewards of 2 outings thanks to the bond between our guides and their companions.
That's normally when the permanent snow falls, and then we can really
Between hunts, we're invited to the kennels at Pinetree Lodge in Lapland, where they're getting ready for the coming tourist season, and where Paul discovers there's more to these dogs than meets the eye, whatever colour it is.
So you can see actually different breeds in them. So they used the very old Inuit dogs, sort of. So Inuit dogs, they have in them Greenland dog, Alaskan Malamute, Siberian husky. Yeah. That's why they get some of them have the blue eyes. Yeah. And then they mix that with other hunting dogs, like the German pointer, you know, the short-haired, and border collies. They are also in there. They just did that because polar dogs, they have an energy saving system. Okay. So they can run really long distances with very little food and very little need of water. Yeah. These dogs, they can run a long distance, but they can do it in a quicker way. Of course, the opposite side is that these are a little bit more maintenance. Because of course they don't have the super thick fur as the polar dogs have, but they have the thrive, and you can keep them in any weather conditions because when spring comes, they just lose their fur, and then they can stand the summer temperatures, and when fall comes they just regrow a really thick fur, and then they can handle also the winter temperatures.
We're also trying to cope with the temperatures, from unseasonably mild to pretty blooming cold and damp with poor visibility. We're going to struggle to find these ptarmigan today. We're back out with Frederick and his red setters, plus a young Breton or Brittany. She's a national champion at the tender age of 2.
Right, so what's the plan today then?
Today the weather is not good. So today we're not going in the high mountain. Yep. We're going to try low mountain.
Ah, yeah.
Yep. A little bit different.
Do you have to use your trackers more, do you?
Yes.
Because you can't.
Here you need it.
Can't see the dogs.
Yes.
You've got different dogs today, Freddie.
Yes. Today we have a Breton.
Breton, yeah.
Yeah.
Works the same.
Yes, it's completely the same.
Yeah.
But a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Faster then.
It's look faster.
Is there some rivalry? Is there a bit of good camaraderie, rivalry with the skills of the dogs?
No. I think a good dog is a good dog.
Yeah.
So
very well said, Frederick. Yeah, you could have got yourself in a lot of trouble there.
Yes. No, but it's going to be fun to see. I like the Breton.
The conditions are tough to hunt, but the terrain is fascinating to trek through. Frederick constantly tells us what an amazing view there is, but we'll have to leave that for another day.
So your dog, she's trained for like different areas, or is she just for one type of ground?
She works perfectly in all type of terrain. She
was
all-around dog of the year last year.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old is she? 2? You say she's only
She's 2 years old.
Wow.
And works perfectly in the high mountain, forest, and in the fields.
Huh.
So she's really good.
Yeah.
For her age.
We are putting in the miles with no hunting opportunities to warm us up.
We've been pushing all morning long. It's thickish fog on the top, and we're blank so far. Not even a point on anything. We see one hare, but we're still positive. I'm hungry. It'd be quite nice to have. I don't drink coffee, but hot coffee would be quite nice. But yeah, I mean, it goes to show how yesterday was. You know, how many birds we saw yesterday and abundance they were. Weather change and obviously a different area. But the boys are pushing hard. They're trying their hardest. So good company. Very good company. Very funny, the stories. And so we're good. We're all positive. Keep going.
Yeah, and the dogs are impressive, aren't they?
Yeah, it is about the dogs. It's quite funny. Days like today, you see why it's quite good. They do it's like a relay. One of the dogs went out. It was going out to 500 metres, both sides of us. So they're covering some serious ground, 1,000 metres sweeping through. So that's how much ground we're covering. We haven't touched a bird. That could sound very wrong.
I didn't say I was miles away. I was listening to you, but not listening.
But yeah.
We definitely need blood sugar input.
Yes, we need some food. Next stop.
They have tried to.
The fire and some food are welcome, and the Breton gets inside her doggy bag.
Say I'm from the travelling.
On the way home, a bear print reminds us where we are.
Big bear?
Pretty big.
Big enough?
Big enough.
Back at the accommodation, Mika is preparing yesterday's ptarmigan. It'll give us the energy for our last day with the bird dogs. Reindeer greet us on the way to our hunting ground. Sami people have brought them down from the high ground before the snows come. Today is all about capercaillie and black grouse. This is a different style of hunting, much quicker and altogether harder by the sounds of it.
When you stop, then they fly.
Right, okay.
If you walk, you come 5-6 meters.
And will they be on the ground or up a tree or?
It can be everywhere.
Okay.
You can get a little help from the dog. If it's pointing,
Yeah.
like you did with the grouse, then it's on the ground.
Direction, yeah.
But if you start looking like this, they are
And noise-wise, what noises do they make?
nothing. Just when they fly. Now they sounds like a moose.
Yeah,
Really heavy.
yeah.
It's a 4 kilo
Yeah,
and it's going up. It's making a lot of noise.
yeah.
Again, the dogs take it in turns to hunt the ground.
He's standing like this to the
Look into there, yeah?
that area.
Yeah.
And I think if it's a big
Yeah,
bird,
capercaillie,
that is going to fly
Out.
out to that
Okay.
area, not up.
Yoked. Okay.
It looks promising with the dogs all producing points, but luck is not with us. Our approach is wrong, or the birds flush right instead of left. It's frustrating.
I'd never seen one until this morning in the wild, so that was brilliant. And see one on the road on the way in, so that was good. That's a good sign. And yeah, they're a big bird, and I got a 24, and I got these magnums from the guys, 3-inch 5s. So yeah, Winchesters. Yeah. I
We
mean-
must mention, right, so we had ptarmigan last night, didn't we?
Oh yeah, amazing ptarmigan last night, and yeah, so we had ptarmigans like fillets. I breasted them out, and we had them fresh from their chef, and they're unbelievable. Less gamier than red grouse. You thought it was like pigeon, which it was a little bit like pigeon.
It was
to
a
be
bit
fair.
like
Yeah.
pigeon. No, I don't want to do it a disservice.
Yeah,
But you know, I love pigeon.
Yeah.
But
it was. Yeah, it's a fantastic meat. Absolutely, 100%. If they said that had that for the next 6 nights, that'd be perfect.
I could have done with the seconds just then.
You always do, David.
But capercaillie apparently is white meat, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I know. And you would think it'd be dark meat,
Yeah.
but
I hope we find out.
hopefully, yes. Fingers crossed.
We chat more to Mika about the way he looks after Tundra, his English setter.
She's working really hard, but what do you feed Tundra?
The funny thing is when we are out hunting like this, she runs about 40-45 kilometers, and every time when we take a break to make a fire and boil coffee, she doesn't eat anything. So always when she's on hunting, she never eats. So when we get back home, then she eats a lot, lots of filled with energy, lots of it.
But is it normal dog food, or do you give her game, or what do you feed her?
No, normal dog food, but with much more energy into it. And during the winter, when I don't do so much hunting, then we take it down a little bit with the energy level.
Do you tend to find that most of the working dogs won't eat during the day when they're hunting?
No, I mean, his dogs eat plenty when we have a coffee break or something, but she doesn't do it. I don't know why. She's like me, I eat once every day, so.
And the the doggy bag that you put them in, how long's that been around? Are people doing that more often?
Which
Or is
one? Doggy bag.
When she was cold, during lunchtime?
Yeah. No, it's just so she doesn't get so stiff, So I always try to dry her off and keep her warm, and it's just better for her. And always after a days of hunting, I always stretch her. and trying to make it good as possible for her. I see more and more people using those doggy bags to put them in and to keep them warm. Otherwise they get quite stiff, you know.
But that's only with cold weather or with wet weather?
I do it either if it's cold or wet.
Okay.
Always I put in her into the doggy bag. 103 meters. She's down at the wetland. Let's go.
Hanging from the trees are ribbons. The guys explain that this whole area is being felled. It will have a significant impact on the wildlife, including the reindeer that we saw earlier.
So we could be the last English person to hunt this area for a little while, because basically these markers are going to come in and clear it. Forestry fell.
For the hunters, for the tourist business, for human life, for the animals.
Downhill, yeah.
Just show me the lichen that the... So the reason that when the trees go, that's food for the reindeer gone?
Yeah, you have here on the ground, you have the lichen that they eat. And in the winter time they eat some of this.
Ah.
But when they cut the trees down, you don't have that, and they cannot reach this because you have the snow layers, icy layers and snow in different layers, so they cannot dig through.
So the trees are the only source of food during the winter?
Yeah, down here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Paul clocks that the guys, whether shooting or not, have 3M pelt or ear defenders. They were a lifesaver on the exposed tundra, protecting from the wind and the shots. Paul has a tip for anyone with a pair.
If you need to change the batteries, just remember, because I do it every time, it's not the side with the buttons, it's the other side. So that's where the batteries are. Okay?
Not the side of the button.
Not the side of the buttons, and it's a lot easier to put them back on. Whereas you do the side with the buttons, obviously why they designed it like this, you take them off, you've got to realign the buttons. And it can be a little tricky, but it's done. I've practiced it a few times now. But if you're trying to do it quick, non-button side. Obviously I did a lot of shooting as a boy, and apparently a hazel hen, the whistle of the hazel hen is like so high pitched that the older hunters can't hear it because of the amount of shooting they've done without a silencer, without ear protection. So, and I couldn't hear it. I could, you could, yeah. You haven't done no shooting. You did a bit of camera work, and you know.
Our final flurry has us in pursuit of Harvey. Frederick thinks he's pushing a covey of ptarmigan into the wetlands. Paul tries to stay in contact.
Oh my God, he's still working there. He's still going, he's still on some sort of scent. Trying to keep up with across this like mossy bank. Heart was going. Oh, thought we were on there, didn't you? Thought that was it.
To try and make us feel better, Frederick reveals our stats. The distance walked over the last 3 days with the dogs.
Right then, for fitness reasons then, Frederick. Last 3 days, how far we walked?
Well, today 864 steps, around 1400 kilometers.
1400?
Yeah.
13 kilometers.
And yesterday this 20,600,
16.
around 1.6
16
mile.
16
Yes.
kilometers.
The units are all over the place here.
And the first
Good.
So sorry, what's the total? What's the total?
So 12 and 12 is 24.
5 miles.
No, stop changing the units.
50 kilometers.
Yeah.
50 kilometers?
Yeah. In
Over 3 days?
Yep, it's good. So you need to be a little bit fit to go hunting grouse. Swedish grouse. I know it's not.
Of course, it's nothing compared to the ground covered by the dogs, and it's been a real pleasure to see them work and watch them hunt in all their wonderful ways. If you fancy enjoying the landscape, the hospitality and hunting in Lapland, contact heartoflapland.com.